Man was made to mourn. What I like about this poem is that it shows Burns's compassion, and it really reflects the importance of what he thought about universal human rights. So I would now like to ask Club Secretary Alister Sim to cover Man Was Made to Mourn. Alister.
Thanks, David. Gents, there's no real preamble to this poem other than to say it's definitely not going to cheer you up. The poem begins with Burns walking along the banks of River Aire, and he meets an old 80-year-old man who starts talking to him about the miseries of life. So Man was made to mourn, a dirge. When chill November's surly blast made fields and forests bare, one evening, as I wandered out along the banks of Aire, I spied a man whose aged step seemed weary, worn with care. His face was furrowed o'er with years, and hoary was his hair. Young stranger, whither wanderest thou? Began the reverend sage. Does thirst of wealth thy step constrain, or youthful pleasures rage? Or, haply, pressed with woes and cares, too soon thou hast begun to wander forth with me to mourn the miseries of man. The sun that overhangs yon moor, outspreading far and wide, where hundreds labour to support a haughty lordling's pride. I've seen yon weary winter's sun twice 40 times return, and every year has added proofs that man was made to mourn. O man, while in thy early years, how prodigal of time, misspending all thy precious hours, thy glorious youthful prime, alternate follies take the sway, licentious passions burn, which tenfold forth give nature's law, that man was made to mourn. Look not alone in manhood's youth and manhood's active might. Man then is useful to his kind, supported in his right. But see him at the edge of life, with cares and sorrows worn, then age and want, O ill-matched pair, show man was made to mourn. A few seem favourites of fate, in pleasure's lap caressed. Yet think not all the rich and great are likewise truly blessed. And oh, what crowds in foreign lands, all abject and forlorn, through weary life this lesson learn, that man was made to mourn. Many and sharp the numerous ills enwoven with our frame, more pointed still we make ourselves, regret, remorse, and shame, and man whose heaven-erected face the smiles of love adorn. Man's inhumanity to man makes countless thousands mourn. See yonder poor or laboured wight, see abject, mean and vile, who begs a fellow of the earth to give him leave to toil. And see his lordly fellow one, the poor petition spurn, unmindful though a weeping wife and helpless children mourn. If I'm designed yon lordling slave, by nature's law designed, why was an independent thought ere planted in my mind? If not, why am I subject to his cruelty and scorn? Or why has man the will and power to make his fellow mourn? Yet let this not too much, my son, disturb thy youthful breast. This partial view of humankind is surely not the last. The poor, oppressed, honest man had never sure been born, had there not been some recompense to comfort those who mourn. O death, the poor man's greatest friend, the kindest and the best, Welcome the hour my aged limbs with thee are laid to rest. The great, the wealthy fear its blow from pomp and pleasure torn. But oh, a blessed relief to those who weary labour mourn. Thank you. I tell you, that wasn't going to cheer you up.